Still water. This looks like a nice and easy one today.
We're ready.
Yeah. Thank you, boy.
Great.
Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, at 7 o'clock on this fine Tuesday, February 4th of 2025, I call this meeting to order at this time. All right. We get a roll call, please.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Okay, moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm gonna run you over. It's really close. Okay. Someone's car alarm is going off, if that's
bad.
anyone's. Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay, well, we'll go ahead and move on. At this time, council, is there any questions or anything we need to edit to the agenda?
It's probably mine.
Is it yours, Darren?
My picker? Oh, heck.
You gotta walk out there? Oh, I'm giving it to Chief. Oh, nice catch.
Just in case it's mine.
Thanks,
I'm
Chief.
not sure.
Hopefully it's Dennis's.
Okay, moving on.
Is it mine?
Awkward. Thank you. Hey, I got a new Ford. Just joking.
Okay, moving on now to the approval of the minutes or approvals of the agenda, please. At this time, is there any questions on the agenda?
Nope.
Okay, can I get a motion, please, to approve the agenda as it currently stands?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you for that motion. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you for that motion. Can we, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. The ayes have it. At this time, we'll have the city manager's report. Dave, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. All right, should be just pretty quick and brief. The entry monument at 730 and 395. Depending on what you, what sort of feedback we get here tonight is either finished or will be finished if we need to add some paint to it. So the Umatilla sign itself, the white part of that section there of the sign is powder coated. They call that beige. It looks very white, but it's considered a beige. It's in all the concepts and plans and everything else. It's always been like a silver color, and so we have options of what that final silver or swatches of what that could be. But we've received a lot of positive feedback the way it is now. And so to get those three things painted, because it has to actually had to be assembled, and then it has to be just those sections need to come off, be finished. It gets hit with a marine grade paint, UV protection, and anti-graffiti seal. To do all of that on those three sides is about $20,000. Or we can say we like it the way it is, and we can save $20,000 and just leave it the way it is, and we can move forward with doing some sort of ribbon cutting. Probably remotely, not out in the middle of the highway. That's something parents tell their 8-year-olds to do when they're really frustrated, is to go play in the highway. We probably won't do that. And so kind of wanted to see if you are interested. We have kind of those swatches. Otherwise, we can tell the contractor, I think we're good to go. Just wanted to see what the thoughts were there.
I'm good to go. I like it the way it is.
I like it personally.
For the concoction that you were talking about, those like anti-graffiti and stuff like that, does that already have that, or?
Yeah, so the way that the powder coat is on there, the contractor is telling us that for the most part, in the beginning right now, most anything should be able to wipe off of there without any issues if there was graffiti or something. Now, urban artists are going to be sometimes have higher levels of paint that may not be able to come off without that seal on there. So what would end up happening in that case is whatever was there, we'd actually have to take that off and then clean it and then put it on. So we can either leave it as is and spend time on maintenance, or we can spend dollars on maintenance, or we can spend dollars on it now up front.
So here's my question. It sounds like the contractor kind of messed up and it's the wrong color.
No, this is the powder coated color. This is meant to be the base. And so, but we can leave it that way as a powder coat. So it protects the steel, that's on there, that's powder coated. And then it's meant to have this finishing paint and seal. But we wanted to just pose the question because we've gotten a lot of great feedback on it the way it is now, and seeing if we wanted to go ahead and move forward with the paint and seal, or if we
No.
wanted to save a little bit of money now.
Yeah, my only question was, it's already budgeted for the extra $20,000, just not coming up with more. In other words, the process didn't get completed or whatever. I mean, to me, it looks fine.
I think it looks.
I'm into wanting some.
Anti-graffiti seal on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if we set the budget aside and like, in case something does happen,
Maintenance.
then at that point, we can take it apart and clean it and graffiti coat?
Yeah, so you can take the current savings now, we can roll that into like the next fiscal year's budget as part of a maintenance budget or something for this, if we wanted to do that.
Okay.
that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
One of the things we've talked internally as staff is, what is the likelihood of it being tagged? And any piece of anything can become an attractive nuisance at any time. This intersection is busy day and night and has a lot of eyeballs on it all the time. That doesn't mean that people couldn't do something to it. But,
Sure.
we think the risk of it being tagged is low. That doesn't mean zero. It just means we think it's low.
Any further questions, council?
I'm good.
Bruce, do you have any other comments?
No,
Okay.
this time.
Thanks. Okay.
I still think we do a ribbon cutting there.
We can talk about that.
Okay, you are.
I'm-
All right.
Just give me a vest.
Yeah.
I'll be sick that day.
We'll send you a few options on
At midnight?
how we'll officially
Okay.
complete the project. You bet.
All right, thank you, Dave. Is that all we have for the city manager's report? Thank you. Okay, this time I have some public comment to read. Chief, is there anything back there today? Or are we in the clear? Okay, so I have a couple here to read. This one actually is a great honor for me to read. This is from Clifford Gross. I respect Officer Dyke as a true soldier that has always helped disabled veterans like me. Officer Dyke shows respect and true compassion for our issues and understands the life we've lived and died for his combat soldiers. I believe that every officer of the law needs special training to help communicate with combat soldiers rather than arrest them and put them in jail or prison. We live and function in a different level than any citizen. I believe and hope every police department will integrate in their policy and training tactics to train every police officer maintain respect and understand for every combat soldier in America. I have written a letter to VP Vance and explained my concerns. I want Officer Dyke to be promoted and receive a Medal of Valor from his department, and also receive an Army Commendation Medal and the Army Achievement Award for his true and honest dedication every day. I know a police officer has tough challenges every day and deal with many problems and crimes. I respectfully ask that Officer Dyke receive with honor each one of these awards for your department, and also ask the Chief of Police to write a letter to the President of the U.S. recognizing every combat soldier's concerns. I know you will do the right thing and produce a letter of a compassion and empathy for every police officer across the United States and every combat soldier that fights for his or her survival when they come home. Please write to the President and also Vice President. Clifford Gross. This is from Mia Paget and Don Slurpsky. Okay. Hello, our names are Mia Paget and Don Slurpsky. We live at 404 Walla Walla Street, McNairy. We are providing public comment tonight because we have concerns raised by the Rock the Locks RTL 2024 post-event report and concerns about the budgeting decisions regarding potential Rock the Locks festivals beyond 2025. Decisions that may be being formulated at this time. The Locks Festival represents a huge commitment for the city of Umatilla in many ways, human resources, volunteers, and budget. The RTL 2024 post-event report is 114 pages long and reflects a huge amount of work put in by Dave Stockdale and his team. It underscores the vast investment in time and energy that the team has made in Rock the Locks. Given the natural desire to see this effort succeed and the vested interest they have had, it is not surprising that the post-event report portrays an optimistic and encouraging view of the RTL 2024 and the potential for future RTL festivals. However, as we all know, statistics and numbers can be used in many ways, and many assumptions and choices go into developing a report like this. So there are so there can be differences of opinions and different analyses which make something look more or less successful or more or less viable, depending on how the analysis is made and by whom. An effort that requires the resources and budget of RTL merits serious reflection upon the range of information, supportive, unsupportive, and balanced. Further studies and oversight is needed performed by professionals who do not have such large personal investments in success of RTL. Some examples of points needed further clarification and oversight include the analysis of the festival's cost does not appear to include the cost incurred in 2022 to develop the infrastructure for RTL and does not include an analysis of the cost and overload to the city staff and support staff provided by nearby cities and other organizations. The estimated region economical impact is based on numbers and assumptions that can be debated and appear heavily inflated. For example, assuming that the vast majority of attendees, those from Eastern Oregon and Southeastern Washington, spend an average of $191 per day seems highly questionable. We asked friends who attended what they spent, and it is nowhere near that number. The revenue needed for 2025 and the section why this level of revenue growth is achieved makes several questionable assertions and appear to insufficiently address the issues that are likely to accommodate the growth that would be needed to make RTL meet its revenue goals. An enormous amount of growth will be needed, but what will the growing impacts of the city, staff, and golf course neighbors and other groups that are helping with RTL? The festival attendance is typically on the decline since COVID, so increasing assumptions in this report seem unreasonable. If the city council is considering approving a budget for RTL beyond 2025, could that be made contingent on increasing oversight to ensure the estimates and assumptions are realistic, reaching a certain level of attendance and net revenue in 2025 or in RTL 2025, ascertaining that there is indeed achievable to limit the noise to determine decibel levels evident from RTL 2025 or 2024, and case studies and reports on the other established festivals has shown noise limits are often not respected, especially by large, more well-known bands. Establishing a more thorough study which considers cost and net impacts more broadly, including for other options for stage locations and increasing in noise mitigation costs and burdens as the festival grows. Not to be belittle the great efforts made by the city manager and staff thus far, an endeavor that has had a net loss over $2 million for the city in 2023 and 2024 deserves to have greater oversight. Mia Paget and Dawn Slurpsky. This is from Dr. Mark Hovahill, representing the IMESD superintendent. Hello, Nancy. I'm unavailable to attend tonight's meeting, so I'm sending this written testimony. As stated in my previous testimony on January 21st, I recommend the Umatilla City Council convene a stakeholders meeting to assist in the process of the enterprise zone financial distribution. Upon witnessing previous meetings on this subject, it was clear community relations were strained, and it was necessary to rebuild relationships. The various stakeholders repeatedly expressed a desire to be a part of the decision-making process, which has not occurred. I would strongly urge this stakeholder meeting to take place for the betterment of the community and the region. IMESD stands ready to support this process and reallocate any future enterprise zone dollars back to serving the students and families in Umatilla. Again, that was Dr. Mark Movahill. This is from Veronica Gutierrez. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm emailing tonight to discuss the distribution of enterprise zone funds and to advocate for more collective and equitable approach that benefits our entire community. As many of you know, I've been an active member in the Umatilla community for many years, as I have served as a volunteer for the fire department, on the use of force committee for the police department, and on the city's budget committee. I was recently appointed to the planning commission, and I've also served as a Umatilla school board since 2017. My own children have benefited from programs offered by Intermountain ESD and Blue Mountain Community College through Umatilla High. Through these experiences, I've gained a deep appreciation for the vital services provided by all our taxing districts. I've been following the council's discussions on enterprise zone funds, and I'm concerned by the way I've heard the city talk about these funds as though it is the city versus them. We are all partners in serving this community, and we should be working together to utilize these funds for the betterment of Umatilla as a whole. Every taxing district has needs, and the enterprise zone funds present a unique opportunity to fund those needs. These funds were paid in lieu of taxes that would have gone to various taxing districts to fund their needs. The decision to retain the enterprise zone funds for the city and the county use only was made without consultation with the districts that lost tax revenue. I condemn the city and the county for their efforts in attracting new businesses to Umatilla. These businesses bring valuable opportunities, but also increase responsibilities for all taxing districts. We must ensure that we have the resources to meet these needs of the businesses and the growing community, including adequate safety services, workforce development programs, and essential public services. Right now, the fire department, hospital district, and radio district, and mosquito district are all working to do their part to increase public safety without the funds to do so. The ESD, college, library, and school district are working to support workforce development needs without the funds to do so. The city and the county are working to support public services with the full funding, while the others are left on their own. Other communities like Morrow County and North Wasco have recognized the shared responsibility and implemented agreements to distribute enterprise zone funds across all impacted taxing districts. I urge Umatilla to adopt a similar approach. I understand that these past decisions regarding these funds were made under different circumstances. However, I believe it is critical to reevaluate our current practices and prioritize a more collaborative and equitable distribution model. In the coming years, the tax base will increase as businesses enter the tax rolls, benefiting most taxing districts. However, the schools will miss out on additional revenue as they won't see the additional tax funds. I urge you to meet with all taxing districts now to develop a plan that ensures a fair distribution of these funds while we still have the opportunity. Let's work together to find a solution that benefit all of Umatilla. Please consider a work session with the taxing districts and yourselves to develop something together that we can all be proud of. Thank you for your service, Veronica Gutierrez, 221 Walla Walla Street, Umatilla, Oregon. And for the people in the room tonight, up first we have Josiah Barron.
Greetings, good evening, Josiah Barron, 100 Klein Avenue, Umatilla Chamber of Commerce. Just a few announcements tonight. Well, I say a few, but I'll try to condense them down. First, I wanted to start off to welcome a new member. We have Casey's Place Photography, who has just joined the Umatilla Chamber. She's based here in Umatilla. And so if you are looking for a professional photographer for family portraits, for events, whether it's business or other social events, for senior photos and more, she has all those options. You can check out her different price tiers for her photo sessions on her Facebook page, Casey's Place Photography. And you can find the contact information that's now on the Umatilla online directory at umatillorchamber.org. One other thing for her too is if you're interested, if you follow her Instagram page, you can get entered to be in the drawing for a gift basket that is a value of over $250 that she will be doing the giveaway at the Valentine's Day Bazaar that they're having on Valentine's Day at the EOTech Center. So you can drop by, say hi to her, and follow her Instagram page, get into that drawing. Also, tomorrow, you don't want to miss, once again, Way Back Wednesday at the bridge, some good food, some live music. From 6 to 9, Zach Grooms and Paulette Duffloff will be there that night. So that's tomorrow. And of course, each Wednesday, unless it's otherwise stated. And then Super Bowl Sunday. Any of you sports fans out there, if you don't already have plans for Super Bowl 59, you can head down to Old Nick's. They'll be playing the Super Bowl there and get some of their in-house specials, Philly cheesesteaks and chicken wings. They brought the prices down again for the chicken wings for the Super Bowl back to just $1 a wing. And once again, also, it's that time of year. Nominations will be open for the Umatillas Distinguished Citizens Award, Business of the Year, and Citizen of the Year this Friday on February 7th. So be looking out for that. There'll be options available online electronic submission, or there'll also be paper nomination forms for people that like to do it on the paper. So details will be coming out on this Friday, February 7th about that. And just a couple other things I wanted to mention. Just final reminder, this Saturday on the 8th, TRCI is having their meet and greet hiring event. So if you know someone who's looking for a new job or starting a new career, February 8th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at TRCI. You can meet with, they can meet with a security recruiter and find out all the details and benefits about the correctional officer's position. And then also the Bridge Bistro and Brews is looking to hire a full-time cook and a part-time dishwasher. So anybody that's looking for that job, they can submit a resume to thebridgeumatilla@gmail.com or go to the website, thebridgebistroandbrews.com/careers and submit an application there. And just a couple more things. I know I keep saying that, but Umatilla School District is inviting people to register for the ORPATS virtual care trainings that will provide tools to learn and strategies to support children with autism at home. So the trainings will be available in English and Spanish, and you can find out more details and get registered if you go to the Umatilla School District Facebook page, and they have information on there and the links for getting registered. And I'm really telling the truth this time. The last one, Blue Mountain Networks is doing a February giveaway. So if you're not already signed up for their fiber internet, those who sign up for Blue Mountain Networks fiber internet before February 27th will be entered into their giveaway to win a Apple iPad. So make sure if you're not already on the fiber, then think about getting upgrading your iPad. The winners will be randomly selected for that drawing. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I knew I forgot to do something. This is the public comment script. The public comment section allows the community members to share their opinions, raise concerns, and provide information directly to the city council. Comments should address city-related issues and must not pertain to items scheduled for public hearing on the same meeting's agenda. If you wish to speak, please complete the sign-up sheet, including the topic which you wish to address. Please begin by stating your name and address. When called to the podium, speakers will be allocated 5 minutes unless otherwise directed. Please note comments criticizing city programs and operations are permitted during the segment. However, criticisms of individual city employees is not allowed during public comment period. Concerns regarding city employees should be submitted in writing to the city's human resource manager for proper review. Thank you for cooperation. And thanks for following the rules, Josiah. I appreciate it. Okay. Mary Cahill, you're up.
I'm Mary Cahill, 180 Rio Senda, Umatilla. I didn't look at the agenda, so I hope that nothing I have to say covers that. Last week, we received a phone call from our homeowners insurance company. They have reevaluated our home and have determined us to now be in a high fire risk. They're not renewing our homeowners insurance in 30 days. It will end. We are hoping to find another insurance carrier if possible, but any company that will cover our home now is likely to charge a very high price. I very much appreciate all of you as council members, and I know that this is not an easy job. However, you have been chosen to be in these seats and have been appointed by us as the voters, and I am feeling as though some decisions have not been thought out carefully. We all make mistakes, and I definitely, if I were in your spot, I think I would have made all the same mistakes and choices. I'm asking the council to make an emergency halt on all land use application approvals at this time and to make a complete revision of our land use requirements for approval. I believe that it is imperative that we allow ourselves stipulations that the City Planning Commission can have liberties to deny any applicant. The Planning Commission should be given time to review each application, which I know they do have time, but they should be given the ability to, if it's, sorry, lost my spot. They should be given time to review any application, whether it be residential, commercial, industrial, any applicant, and reserve the right to reject any land use proposal, without first allowing all of the community members, not just those in a few hundred feet of whatever the issue is, the application is for public comment and state their concerns. Then allow our planning commission to have the right to reject any application that would possibly have significant negative effects on our residents. We vacationed in the New England states this fall, and while we were there, we were told and noticed there are old homes along the harbors that were built more than 200 years ago. And the cities along those states have allowed hotels and high-rise apartments and businesses to go up, blocking the view of these beautiful old homes. And of course, the people had a big outcry, and they're like, this is horrible. And as far as I know, most, if not all of those city councils in those cities involved all said, this is not what we are about, to do this to our long-term residents. And they made a change and they halted future. They changed what the land use was for. And I know we can do that too. And I'm just asking that you would relook at these land use rules that we have. Of course, having our homeowners insurance drop us is the icing on the cake or the straw that broke the camel's back for me. There are 3 past, current, and potential future issues that I'm concerned about at the moment. These things can affect our view, our health, our safety, our property value, and our ability to obtain and afford needs like homeowners insurance. These things are transmission lines, mental health facilities, and even possible nuclear power plants. If a business in the or a community service like community counseling service comes to our city and makes agreements with us, and we should hold them to the promises like those, or remove their business or operating license. The community counseling service facility in McNary was opened and operated by Lifeways in 2007. Lifeways director Greg Schneider assured us at the time, and I quote to East Oregonian, he did this quote, "I understand the fear, but those coming to us have a long history with the state. We know a lot about them, and we are not taking a great risk. These people are stable and ready to go into such a facility," end quote. They also agreed to provide mental health counseling to our community members, but after a short time, that did not continue. The city manager at the time was Larry Klukas, am I saying it right? Said in a quote to the East Oregonian responding to the public outcry about this, "We notified people within 100 feet about the public meeting and no one showed up." 100 feet? That's, that's not very far. That's probably the rules, but I would like to see them change too. In 2021, the county chose to.
Ma'am, that's your time.
Sorry.
But thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. At this time, we will now move on to the consent agenda. We have item 7.1. We do have a correction on the consent agenda. Bruce, what did we forget to do?
So that was, we did not replace Rowick's name with mine, but there was a de minimis
Okay,
change, so
we fix it?
handled.
Perfect. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on. All right, sorry about that, Bruce. Okay. 7.1, we have just the approval of the minutes at this time. Do you have any questions about the minutes? Okay, we're looking for a motion to pass the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda, item 7.1.
Thank you. Can we get a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed? You guys have it. Moving on now to new business. We have landing days decision approval to propose to consolidate landing days into a one-day event. So any questions about that from council? Esmeralda, go ahead.
Thank you. A couple of weeks ago, we brought it to council. We proposed the idea of consolidating landing days to landing days, a one-day event. We were directed to get community input and made the survey live the very next day. It was open for about a week. It closed last week on Wednesday at 9 a.m. when I had to put it on the agenda, council agenda, sorry. And the majority responded, as you can see in your packet. 58% people agreed, preferred a one-day festival, and 19% had no preference. So we would like the council to approve the proposal of consolidating it to one day.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council this time or any points? Okay, we're looking for a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve new business item 9.1 and make landing days a one-day event.
Thank you for your motion. Is there a second to the motion, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Landing days will now be a one-day event. Okay, we have 9.2 resolution 19-2025, a resolution retroactively authorizing the city manager to execute a water rights purchase and sale agreement and sign all closing documents for the purchase of the real property. Dave?
This is Brandon's item. I'll see if he comes on. Otherwise, I'll happily take that too. There we go.
Hi, thank you, council. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. So this is a follow-up action from when you directed City Manager Stockdale and staff to procure a water rights purchase agreement for water rights up in the South Hill area. We are taking a little bit longer to bring this back because it's gone through OWRD, or the Oregon Water Resources Department, and the transfer application. So that water right has been approved to be converted into municipal water right and is now eligible for us to move forward with the purchase. So this is our resolution bringing it back to finalize that purchase and get that water into city ownership. Happy to answer any questions you might have for me.
This is the one that we had talked about before, right? South
Correct.
Hill. Gotcha.
Where's the water source derived from? Is it from?
This is Columbia River John Day Pool surface water right.
Yeah. And so this isn't for drinking water. This is for just for cooling, correct?
Well, it's coming in it's being converted from agricultural use to municipal use. Municipal use can be industrial, commercial, or residential. Right now, we don't have any systems in place to have surface water be domestic water. Not right now. Our water master plan by the year 2037 has us transitioning from the 4 groundwater wells to surface water by then. But this area, we don't have, at the moment, we don't have any planned domestic water treatments in this area of town.
And this is the 5 that we had talked about or whatever it was.
So we procured 1.68 CFS about 18 months ago. That was in the original purchase and sale agreement from the land that was purchased in South Hill area from 3 or 4 years ago. That included an option to purchase this additional acre feet, which comes to about an additional, it's about additional 3.5 CFS for a total of about 5.2 CFS of surface water right in the John Day.
So this is 5. What's the total purchase amount?
This is because it's an acre feet, it has it in the purchase for the acre feet. It's about 300. Brandon, you have that number? I think it was about 300 acre feet.
238.5 acre feet, which comes up to the 3.5-ish.
Right. So I was getting the 5 by putting the 3.5 and the previous together. So we're
Got it.
roughly at about
Right. It's just over 5 CFS, the two of them combined, right?
Okay. Thanks, Brandon. Thank you, Dave.
Subdivide the 4, carry the 6.
Yeah, right. That's how it goes. I'm just double checking everyone's math. All right. Any questions from council other than my own? Okay, looking for a motion this time.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution number 19-205.
Thank you for your motion. Can we get a second to that motion, please?
I will second that.
Thank you. We get all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. At this point in time, we have the police department funding decision. Okay. Dave? Or is this Melissa?
Okay, so at your last regular meeting, Matt Donahue presented several different funding and financing options for the new police station. This was also discussed at the workshop on Saturday, so we've had a chance to see this twice, and staff is just looking for a formal decision and direction on how to proceed.
Well, first of all, I really enjoyed the information that we got on Saturday. And looking at the scope of things, I think we're in a good position, me personally, and listening to everybody's comments, I think we're in a good position to go for a GO bond. And the one tax rate that we had talked about,
I would think if I understood correctly, the preferential option would be the one with the option 3, the 20-year term at the 30 cents per
the
thousand.
bottom one, whatever it was. That's the one we had
Yeah.
talked about.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know we've previously talked about this, but I just wanted, if the bond does fail, are we still going to just take out the loan ourselves? Is that still the current plan?
Well, I think that it's gonna be a discussion. I think we had talked about the hazards of doing that. But and I think that's gonna be a further discussion if we get blocked.
So if it fails, then
That
we'll
was
have a further
that was my
discussion.
opinion that we
Okay.
discussed.
I just want to make sure we don't trap ourselves into making
Right.
that decision earlier. So
No,
I just want
no.
to make sure we clarify that we're not going out.
Yeah.
We're not going to build it. We'll have a further discussion on that if the bond does fail.
Yeah, I think we have further discussion on that.
So the resolution that we'll bring to you would be to authorize the GO bond before we could proceed with any other sort of financing. That would be an item that would have to come back to council.
Okay,
Right.
perfect. That's what I'm thinking. Are you guys?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the consensus that I got when
well, we need a
talked
police
on Saturday.
station and we're building one way or the other, right? From my understanding, we're building one way or the other and
Yeah,
we
we
just
gotta
want to have the
figure-
two different options. We want
gotta
to
figure
bring
it
it to
out.
the people of the city to see what their opinion is on how to fund it.
Well, and that's what I think is the most important part is it could appear it's like, well, we're going to do it anyways. That's not really the actual perspective. It's hey, citizens,
There's a
tax
need.
dollars are being
Yeah.
being used for this because it is a necessity. The question is, how much of it do we want it to go to those tax dollars? I think that
Yeah.
that's the important conversation
Right.
to see, because it's pretty crazy when you do look at that chart to see how much would it actually come out for a much longer term. And I think
Sure.
that's what we're going to be talking about when we tell that story.
Sure. And I think it's the same thing as, with the school bond and I know there was imperative that we got the school done and with the large clients being here, being able to be a part of that too and paying their fair share.
Right.
I think it's a very good, I mean, instead of spending $3, $4, $5 a thousand, we're spending 30 cents a thousand.
Yeah, that spreadsheet.
And we're not even close to
showed a
being in
lot.
compression, so.
Yeah.
Another thing to note is if we do move forward, we would not know the results of the bond until May. Our budget will already be prepared at that point. And so
Correct.
before we could proceed in any other fashion, we would have to do a budget amendment. as
Right.
well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with that.
I do too.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Then,
At this time, we're looking for a motion.
I make a motion that we have the staff proceed with funding for the new police department through a GEO bond. Is that what you need? Basically?
Yeah, maybe specify option 3 as
Option number
presented.
3.
Real quick, just for a point of clarification. I don't know, Darren, I know that your son is currently employed by the police department.
Right.
Is that a conflict of interest? Should we declare that? I'm not
Oh.
sure how that works.
Well,
Unless it's being put into his check, I don't think a
Yeah.
facility.
Okay, I'm just
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I
crossing our
appreciate
T's
that
and dotting our
question.
I's
Now,
here.
now that you say that, I don't, that area is so foggy to me.
Yeah, I think we should declare a
I think
conflict.
what I should do, and I apologize, but I should clarify with a potential conflict of interest, which I can still have discussion and vote and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but a potential conflict with that.
Okay, thank you.
I think we'll do that because of my son
Yep.
working there. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, sir. That's definitely,
Okay,
we can think about that. Thank you.
Nancy, does that sound good? Is that, okay?
Thank you.
So just for the record,
Thank you for catching that.
at 7:41, Darren Dufloff did declare a potential conflict of interest. Okay.
Complete the motion.
I'm gonna say no, he did not complete the motion. I denied his motion, so his motion died.
Yeah, I'll remove my motion at this time.
Thank you. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve new business item 9.3, the GEO bond for the police department funding.
Thank you. Can we get a
Option
second?
number 3.
Option number 3. Okay, specific. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, and just for next steps, so you guys are aware, the paperwork is due to the county prior to the end of February. So our next step will be tomorrow. I will be sending out an RFP to several different law offices to retain bond counsel, and we'll be bringing back an authorizing resolution to you at your next meeting.
Thank you.
If any of you are interested, you'll hear a lot of terms over the next couple of months. We're going to have a municipal advisor, an underwriter, bond counsel, and we'll likely undergo a credit rating. None of the other steps will happen until after the election, but we will have that bond counsel immediately. And I do have a paper from GFOA if any of you want more information on those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we've got our second public comment section. I believe first we have Darla Huxell. Am I mistaken, Chief? Did I get it right? All right.
You're psychic.
Yeah, I saw her get up.
Darla Huxell, 415 Stevens Avenue. Again, as I always say, I appreciate the incredible decisions that you have to make, and some of them difficult, some of them not so difficult sometimes. I just have a couple things. First of all, I will always support building a new police department. I'm the one that originally brought it forward. I am a support of that. My only concern with that is I was involved with building that 2-story building at the end of town down there. Beautiful building. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about it. We built that building under $10 million. What you're asking to build a police department down on this end is more than double that. So I'm asking that you just take a look at some of these costs. Like I said, it was under 10 million for us to build that building down there. Again, I do appreciate decisions that you have to make. The other thing is I attended the workshop on Saturday, lots of information there. When we were talking about enterprise zones, I think key to the whole thing for me is we just want to be heard. Because even in that meeting, people were saying stuff about what these districts needed, which was not really totally correct. The only way you're going to find out what we really need is to listen to what we really need coming from us, not what you think we need. So and I've said it before, I'm standing by my word. I'm always going to advocate for the special districts. So again, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Darla.
Thank you, Darla. At this time, we have Heidi Sipe.
Hey, Sype 120 Rio Sunda. I was not going to talk tonight, but then I had a question. And so first of all, a huge thank you to Chief Bridge. He and I were able to meet with Lifeways last week and get a safety plan in place for Lifeways for the school with PD. And I really appreciate that partnership and just thanks. And also big kudos to Scott Coleman, who Friday night called me, or no, whichever night it was, Thursday night, called me to let me know that they were out doing de-icer ahead of time. They know I go out and drive about 3 a.m. during every winter time, and I really appreciated that. So huge thank you to Scott too and his team. The only question that I had, and again, fully support the police station. Like there is zero question coming from me about supporting the police station. I do share I can't not call you chief, former chief's concerns about the overall cost. Like when I was looking at the plans, there's 11,000 square feet of office space and there aren't jail cells in there. And so I am having a hard time understanding why it would be so much per square foot. Rough comparison, $60,000 for a 4-6 intermediate building, 28 million. 14,000 square feet for a police station, 25 million. Something seems off there. And I just don't know how that was determined or how that plan was determined. When schools are doing building consideration, we have like community groups that meet, they come in, they look at the different facilities, we go through this big long process, and that's how the needs are determined. And then that's what we work toward. And then that group actually makes a recommendation on this is how much you should probably go for. This is what we're after. I don't see any of that process here. The one thing I can see on the city site is that the RFP went out in fall, and it says in the RFP that this will be paid for with either a general obligation bond or a full faith and credit. So doesn't that mean that if the bond fails, then you do it? I don't know. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we've got a discussion item, 11.1 Enterprise Zone Information Review and Discussion. This is a discussion only.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So nothing necessarily to add here from what we've discussed or heard the last few meetings. Mostly just trying to just do a check-in. Where are we at? What sort of direction would you have for me and our staff as we work with work and manage the enterprise zone? What kind of direction or information would you like us to work with the county, our co-sponsor with the zone? So mostly just trying to do a check-in, see if there's any follow-up questions from anything we've heard recently and any general thoughts. So just mostly just wanted to open up the discussion.
Yeah, I think what former Chief Huxell just brought up is the exact point. I feel like we kind of missed on Saturdays. I think we need to hear from the taxing districts themselves. I think we need to do a workshop with the council and with these taxing districts boards and or their chairperson. And we need to have a conversation as a large group about what this needs to look like. And I think it would be frankly arrogant of us to make this decision unilaterally.
My one question with that is, wasn't there a meeting that occurred this summer? And if so, what was the findings at that meeting?
We met twice, and then we put out a survey, which was included in your packet on Saturday. We had four districts, we had 4 respondents, and 4 districts respond to that survey.
Yeah, me personally, when we talked, part of the deal was, and if I remember correctly, I'm not saying that we don't take care of the special districts, especially those that are impacted cause for service. And things that have been impacted, i.e. the fire department calls for service has gone up. We know that mosquito, it's gone up. We have more people here. I get all of that. With the school being static, we have the same students body that we've had for multiple years. So, granted, the price of doing business at schools is more, and I understand that. I know that, I did some research and there's some funding available for schools that not necessarily the fire department has. So, but the biggest thing is, I told everybody I was going to look into special districts, and, so what I found was that, like everybody brought up Wasco County. Wasco County is at a different spot than we are. Morrow County is at a different spot than we are. We're just barely starting. We've gotten this much money out of our enterprise zone. And we're not where we need to go. It hasn't gotten into fruition yet. We don't even have buildings yet that are being built. We have a lot more stuff that's going to come in the tax roll. So what I would suggest is we look at things in the future. Not necessarily, we don't have to make a decision right now. This isn't something that is gonna come at us right away. So I think we wait and see where we're at. That's the biggest thing for me. So, I do think that we really need to take a look at those 1 districts we talked about. But I mean, again, I'm just one person,
Yeah, I agree.
We all had the same conversation on Saturday.
I think if there's any direct hardships or anything that's due to, the enterprise zones and stuff and the additional things from the, facilities and stuff, if any special districts have taken a hit, I think they do need to be looked at and taken care of so we can,
It needs, and whatever funding we do, I don't think that it needs to be blanketed.
no,
I
no.
think one needs to be given more than the other and so
Right.
forth. I think we need to look at it amiably.
It's a dynamic situation.
And I don't disagree that in the future we have some sit-down meetings. I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'd like it even.
I have no issue with that in the future. That's all good.
Yeah.
Communication's great. Have connection with the city.
It's important.
So, man, you're sitting over here. I'm sorry, I keep turning my back. I apologize. Okay, good.
Councilmember Funderburk, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm interested though in getting everybody together. So, as we get closer to, I don't know, the final,
And again,
whenever it
Right.
happens, get the money, we do need to listen to what people have to say.
Bruce, do you have anything to add? Or Councilmember McLean, I apologize.
Not really, because I missed the workshop.
Yep.
So I mean, I think I've heard some pretty important things up here. I mean, we do have to identify, what special districts, actually can demonstrate impact. And we want to partner with that and support that, in an appropriate manner. The fact that we're at the beginning of this thing with limited resources at this stage of the game, more significant resources coming down the road. We do have some time to sit down and figure this out. Engagement with the special districts, because, and it's been said tonight, we can't guess what their funding needs are, what their funding sources are outside of, enterprise zone funding. And I know it doesn't need to be said, but the city has their own needs. I mean, we do have water treatment plants and things that we need to worry about.
Sure.
That other people, aren't going to show up to help us with.
Right.
Thank you.
And honestly, I would ask that if and when we do get a meeting, I think that we have some counselors there that can also have some discussions as well.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Because
agree.
ultimately it comes down to us making the decision. So
Mhm. Yep.
I want to be a part of that.
I do too.
Absolutely. Councilmember McMillan, do you have anything else to add? McMillan,
I'm good.
you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. That time, we're gonna go ahead and move on. No other further discussion at this time? Okay, moving on to the mayor's message. I don't know if words can truly describe the importance of the decisions and the gravities of the decisions that we're making and the direct impacts they have on the citizens of Umatilla. I want to really highlight Mary Cahill this evening, and I really want to say thank you so much for coming here this evening and for sharing your hardship with us. That is a decision that, as a council, we have made, and it's heartbreaking to hear how it has impacted you directly. And thank you for speaking this evening. As usual, thank you, Chief Huxell, former Chief Huxell, for coming this evening and giving your perspective on things. Is always very enlightening and is always helpful. And thanks, Mom. Appreciate you coming up and saying hi. Also want to highlight as well, I don't want to miss Mia and her phenomenal letter highlighting some of the drawbacks and issues with the Rock the Locks survey. And I think that she does a phenomenal job in really highlighting some of the blind spots that we have as a council and as a city staff. Also want to say thank you to Dr. Mark Movahill for his letter talking about enterprise zones. I want to highlight as well Veronica Gutierrez, my neighbor, and someone who I really appreciate how civically engaged she has been for her years of service and continuing commitment to help make our city a better place. And our letter doesn't go on deaf ears, so we do appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who gave written testimony. That's all I have this evening. Councilmember Funderburk, do you have anything for your council information and discussion?
I just want to thank everyone for coming, and I recently had the pleasure of attending a day at the Capitol with Mr. Stockdale and Ashley Wheeler, and I really enjoyed speaking with the senator and our representative and taking the time to do that and just to see especially all the students that were there. So it's inspired me to start something at the school. Very inspiring. And I think I'm a little too old to work there. I was wondering about being a page or chief of staff, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But I really, really enjoyed that whole experience, and it was amazing. So thank you for allowing that opportunity. That's probably all I would like to say for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember DeFluff.
I would like to thank, who was it that wrote about Officer Dyke?
Oh, yes.
Gross.
Gross, last
Yeah,
name
Clifford
Gross.
Gross.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
I've known Ivan for years. He's a good soul. He does an amazing job in our community, and I really appreciate him. As far as community policing, he's great with that. And he does he's so gentle with that stuff. He's got so much compassion. That's perfect. And that's how it should be. Also the 730 and 395 monument looks great. The welcome monument or whatever, headstone with stone edge or whatever we want to call it. Thank you for the tour, even though it was kind of cold. The burritos were good. But no, it was nice to have everybody together and in a more relaxed forum and be able to discuss some stuff. And I appreciate that. I think we need to do that more often. Because it's not so stuffy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to 2025. I think we got a lot of stuff that's on the agenda that's going to be amazing. We have a bunch of new projects that are coming up that are going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to having further discussions about the enterprise zones. I want to, again, I'm trying to learn more about this stuff and how it works and how it pieces together, and cause and effect is huge. So I just want to make sure that we're taking care of the right people at the right time in the right place. So that's about it. Esmeralda, you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much, Darren. At this time, we've got Counselor Katie McMillan, who is out with a newborn child. So congratulations to Katie and her family for the newborn.
Thank you. I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet. I got a cranky little one today. But I do want to thank everybody for being there. I've been watching the videos, so I've been staying up to date on everything. But I just appreciate everybody still coming out and their support and bringing things to light. So, and you guys all have a great night.
How's the audio quality?
It's actually really good. I can hear everything that people are saying this time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's been really nice. I can actually participate kind of in here.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Katie. Councilmember Wheeler.
I feel like everyone's kind of said everything so far, but thank you everyone for coming tonight. And I know the weather is coming in, so definitely be safe. And yes, I agree. The day at the Capitol, I wish I have gone so much sooner. It's really incredible to get to see our senators, our representatives, and be able to talk with them. And even though it's short, it was really great to have that connection. And so that way, when they do come to our local areas, we're able to continue those relationships and conversations. And I agree, seeing the youth there was really cool. I think this was the first year they'd gotten a chance to do that and do the tour. So it was really cool for them to be a part of our conference, but then also get the opportunity to participate with seeing the senators and representatives. But it's an opportunity for us, if you guys are wondering what this whole day is, it's not a field trip. It is an opportunity for us to build those relationships, but to also help us bring the needs that our city needs, and perhaps maybe at a state level be able to get funding for those things. So we came with a little like magazine brochure that showed some of our top priorities based on the city's needs and goals. So that way we're able to hopefully come to fruition with some of the funding this year. So it was great.
Thank you. Councilmember McMillan.
Well, my brain still hurts from Saturday, but it was much appreciated. Because I told you guys that, I have a lot to learn about enterprise zones. This is my first term up here, and I've got lots of stuff to learn in general even. But I promise that I will try my best, and you guys do deserve a voice, and I want to hear your voice. I really do. And like Darren was saying, we want to make sure that things are fair and things are right. So we're going to keep pressing as a team here and trying to serve you guys the best we can. We're going to try to work together with everybody. And I really mean it too. So, and for you guys, thanks for Saturday for wrecking my brain. It still hurts, but no, it was a crash course, and it was really good stuff because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about, and so I got a lot of homework to do as well. But anyway, I guess I'll just keep it short and sweet too. So thanks everybody.
Councilmember McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. I'm going to make this short. If you can't tell, I'm fighting with a bit of a sinus thing. Saw grandkids and then made it much worse by flying on Monday. So I'm going to turn this in. They took all the good stuff. Guy in the end doesn't stay with them. Personal health moment. So zipping in and out of the clinic today. Watch your health. Sinus infections aren't the only thing going around. Influenza A is rampant in the countryside. We have some winter weather driving conditions, so give yourself extra time. Give everybody else out there some extra time. Be safe. We've probably got a week of this to look forward to.
Thank you. There's no further council information this time. We're looking for a motion to adjourn on time.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we adjourn.
And Dave, real quick, there's no executive sessions tonight. Okay. Thank you for that motion. Can we get a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Nope. It's you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You guys have it. We're now adjourned. Thank you very much. I mean, someone might be. I really like seeing your guys' faces.
Turn the power up on these things. How do you turn the power off on these? Like put it in sleep mode or power, and like if you